If your legs have been feeling weaker lately, slower, heavier, harder to move, it's easy to blame age. But what if the real culprit isn't your years? It's your fruit bowl. Most of us grew up believing fruit was nature's perfect food. It's colorful, sweet, and often labeled heart healthy. But here's the shocking truth no one warns you about. After age 60, some of the fruits we trust the most can quietly weaken our legs, harm circulation, and speed up muscle loss, even if everything else in our lifestyle seems healthy. They don't come with warning labels. In fact, they're often served with love. Today's episode may completely change the way you look at healthy eating. And to help guide us through this eye-opening journey, we turn to a remarkable voice of experience. Japan's oldest practicing doctor, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara. At over 100 years old, and still walking independently, reveals 7 common fruits that could be silently draining your strength. This is not fear, it's awareness. Because the truth is, after 60, our metabolism, muscle recovery, and blood flow change. What once supported healthy aging may now be undermining it. That's why this conversation is essential for anyone who values their independence, mobility, and longevity. Whether you're working to maintain over 60 wellness, prevent aging diseases, or just want natural health tips that truly support senior health, this is the video you didn't know you needed. Do you often feel your legs get tired too easily? What fruit do you eat the most each day? Share with us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. If this helped you see things in a new light, please hit like, subscribe to Live Healthy After 50, and remember, your health is your greatest wealth. Now let's uncover the 7 surprising fruits that may be silently sabotaging your leg strength, and what to do instead. Number 1. Grapes, the sweet fruit that can quietly weaken your legs. They look harmless. A bowl of grapes on the counter. A light snack while watching TV. A healthy treat to satisfy your sweet tooth. But for seniors, grapes may be quietly doing more harm than good. Let's break it down. Grapes are loaded with fructose, a type of natural sugar that behaves very differently in the body compared to glucose. While glucose is used directly for energy, fructose heads straight for the liver. And after 60, when liver function often slows, that extra load can become a serious problem. Fructose increases uric acid in the blood. And when uric acid rises, it interferes with nitric oxide, the molecule your blood vessels need to stay open and flexible. Without enough nitric oxide, circulation narrows. And when blood can't flow freely to the legs, oxygen delivery drops. Muscles don't repair as well. And over time, your legs may start to feel heavier, slower, even numb after walking. This isn't just theory. A 2017 study published in the journal Nutrients confirmed that high fructose intake can impair vascular function, especially in older adults with slower metabolic clearance. That means for seniors aiming for healthy aging, grapes can quietly undercut mobility, even if everything else in your routine looks clean and balanced. Take Robert 6008 from Denver. He swapped candy for grapes after a heart scare. He thought he was doing something smart. But after a few months, he noticed his legs felt tired after short walks. No swelling, no diagnosis, just a slow, creeping weakness. When his doctor reviewed his diet, the problem became clear. The issue wasn't overeating. It was the constant drip of fructose, snacking all day, no fiber, no balance. You see, grapes don't trigger fullness. They're easy to overeat, especially when you're trying to eat light. But for seniors, too much fructose even from fruit can quietly spike inflammation and disrupt blood flow and wear down leg strength day by day. In traditional medicine, food is judged not just by what it is, but how it behaves in the body. And grapes, though natural, act like fast fuel, sweet, quick, and hard to control. That's not what aging muscles need. If you've been trying to live healthy after 50, this might be a missing piece. Because longevity tips aren't just about eating more good food, they're about understanding what your body actually needs right now. And for natural health, for seniors, circulation is everything. If you often snack on grapes thinking they're the safer choice, it may be time to pause. Are your legs more tired than they used to be? Is recovery slower after walks or workouts? This isn't about fear. It's about listening to your body and knowing that even nature's sweetest gifts must be chosen with wisdom as we age. Number 2, bananas. The morning habit that may be draining your energy. They're soft, easy to chew, and packed with potassium. For decades, bananas have been marketed as the perfect fruit for energy and muscle health. But for people over 60, especially those concerned with long-term strength and blood sugar balance, bananas can bring unexpected problems, especially when eaten the wrong way. Bananas are high in simple carbohydrates. That means they break down fast, especially when eaten alone or on an empty stomach. This quick breakdown causes a sudden rise in blood sugar. And in response, the body releases a surge of insulin. For seniors who may already be experiencing insulin resistance, the spike and drop pattern can become a daily energy roller coaster. In fact, a 2016 study published in Nutrients found that older adults with glucose intolerance experience sharper blood sugar swings after eating fruits like bananas, especially without protein or fat to slow absorption. The result, more inflammation in the tiny blood vessels that support your muscles, especially in the legs. Mark, a 71-year-old retired teacher in Ohio, started his mornings the same way for years, a banana and a coffee before his morning walk. But by late morning, he often felt shaky, unfocused, and tired. He thought it was aging. But when he added protein and reduced the sugar load in his breakfast, his energy returned. The banana wasn't the enemy, but the way he ate it was draining him. This is where daily habits for longevity really matter. When you start your day with only sugar and caffeine, even natural sugar, your body gets no metabolic cushion, no fiber to slow the breakdown, no healthy fat or protein to steady your energy. That sugar hits hard, and then it drops. What's left is fatigue, brain fog, and in many cases microvascular strain that affects how your legs feel when you move. Bananas are not bad, but like many fruits, they need a partner. In traditional Eastern practices, bananas are never eaten alone. They're paired with yogurt, nuts, or fermented foods to ground the sugar. That way energy is released slowly, and the body stays balanced. This kind of senior nutrition guide thinking is what keeps vitality high, not just in theory, but in real daily life. If your legs feel heavy by midday or you crash after your light breakfast, ask yourself, was your meal built to last, or did it burn out too fast? Healthy aging is not about avoiding fruit. It's about understanding how your body changes with time. What worked at 30 may not work at 65. Your blood sugar patterns shift, your muscle repair slows, and the wrong breakfast repeated daily can slowly chip away at your strength. For seniors focused on staying strong, independent, and active, every food choice matters. And that includes the humble banana. If you enjoy bananas, don't stop. Just don't eat them alone. Add protein. Add healthy fat. Make it part of a balanced breakfast that supports circulation, energy, and recovery. That's how you build longevity, not with extremes, but with smarter habits one morning at a time. Number 3, pineapple. The fruit that feels healthy, but makes your legs swell. It's juicy. It's tropical. It smells like summer. Pineapple has long been seen as a healing fruit, especially for its enzyme bromelain, which is linked to anti-inflammatory effects. But here's something few people over 60 are ever told: pineapple may quietly trigger swelling in the legs, especially if eaten on an empty stomach. Pineapple is high in both sugar and acid. That combination is tricky. The sugar, mostly fructose, can irritate the lining of your blood vessels. The acid can upset your digestive system, especially in people with sensitive guts. Together they create the perfect storm for fluid retention, particularly in the lower limbs. When blood vessels get inflamed, they lose their ability to manage pressure and fluid balance. That's when water starts collecting in the tissues. The legs feel heavier, shoes feel tighter. You might even feel puffiness by late afternoon, even if you're drinking plenty of water. Barbara, 66, from Sarasota, never suspected pineapple. She added it to her smoothies because it felt clean and light. But for weeks she noticed her ankles swelling by evening and her knees ached after her walks. It wasn't until she stopped having pineapple first thing in the morning that the discomfort started to fade. This kind of low-grade edema is often brushed off as aging, but in reality it can be a quiet sign that your body is overwhelmed by sugar, by acid, or by inflammation that builds over time. A 2019 study in clinical interventions in aging found that even milder fluid retention in older adults was linked to slower walking speed, delayed muscle recovery, and a higher risk of falls. That's a serious concern for anyone trying to prevent aging diseases and maintain mobility after 60. Most people never think fruit could be the cause of leg swelling, but the truth is what feels fresh isn't always gentle, especially in the context of an aging circulatory system. And when pineapple is eaten in large portions or without other foods to balance it, the impact becomes more pronounced. There's also timing. When you eat pineapple on an empty stomach, the acid and sugar hit faster. There's no fiber, protein, or fat to slow digestion. This makes blood sugar spike faster. And for seniors with weakened vascular integrity, that sudden surge can trigger inflammation that quietly impacts your legs, joints, and recovery. This is where senior health tips make a difference, not just what to eat, but how and when. Pineapple isn't bad, but it's not harmless either. Especially if your legs already feel heavy or you're managing circulation issues. It's a fruit that needs context. It should be paired with grounding foods like boiled eggs, yogurt, or nuts, and never eaten alone in the morning. As we age, our bodies speak more softly. Swelling, slowness, subtle fatigue. These are not just signs of getting older. They're signs that something in our routine might be off balance. If you're noticing leg puffiness or muscle fatigue and haven't found a clear cause, take a look at your fruit habits. That tropical sweetness might be sending the wrong message to your blood vessels. Choose wisely. Eat with intention. That's how we protect strength and independence one small habit at a time. Number 4. Watermelon. Sweet but empty fuel that can leave your legs weak. It's the fruit of summer. Cool, juicy, refreshing. Watermelon feels innocent. But for people over 60, especially those trying to stay active and strong, it may be doing the opposite of what you expect. Watermelon is made up of over 90% water, and while that sounds hydrating, it comes with a hidden cost. It's also packed with fast-acting sugar and almost no fiber, fat, or protein. That means it floods your system quickly, raising your blood sugar in minutes, then dropping it just as fast. This spike and crash cycle isn't just uncomfortable. For seniors, it can be dangerous. When blood sugar rises and falls rapidly, the body responds with hormonal stress. Energy dips. Muscles become more prone to fatigue. And for aging legs, that can translate to soreness, instability, or even nighttime cramps. A recent study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that diets high in high glycemic fruits like watermelon were linked to lower magnesium and potassium levels in older adults. These minerals are essential for muscle function. When they get diluted or lost, the legs pay the price. Tom, 72, from Santa Fe used to snack on watermelon throughout the day during hot months. It helped him stay cooler, or so he thought. But he often woke up with cramping calves and aching feet. It wasn't until he reduced the watermelon and added more mineral-rich foods that the discomfort stopped. The issue isn't hydration, it's nourishment. Watermelon hydrates you for a moment. But because it contains almost no salt, no fat, and no complex carbs, it doesn't help you retain the minerals your body needs, especially after 60 when absorption becomes less efficient. Your body ends up flushing more than it keeps. For anyone looking to live healthy after 50, hydration must include electrolytes, especially magnesium and potassium. Watermelon on its own dilutes them, and over time that imbalance can affect how well your muscles recover and how strong your legs feel at the end of the day. Even more concerning, some seniors rely on watermelon as a meal. A few slices for lunch or dinner. It feels light. It's easy to chew. But it leaves the body underfueled and the legs undersupported. You don't have to give it up completely, but it needs to be balanced. If you enjoy watermelon, pair it with something grounding. A boiled egg, a handful of nuts, a slice of whole grain toast. Give your body what it needs to stay stable. That's the heart of a senior health understanding, that sweetness is not always strength. Watermelon might feel like a smart choice, but after 60, your muscles need more than water and sugar. They need real fuel, minerals, protein, stability. If your legs feel weak in the evening or you wake up with cramps, take a closer look at your fruit habits. The answer might be sitting in your refrigerator. Healthy aging is not about cutting everything out. It's about knowing what your body needs now and giving it just enough of the right things in the right way. Number 5. Dried fruit. The sugar bomb and disguised as a natural snack. It looks innocent. Just a handful of raisins or a few pieces of dried mango. After all, it's fruit, right? But once that fruit is dried, its sugar becomes highly concentrated, and that changes everything. When fruit is dehydrated, the water is removed, but the sugar stays. And suddenly, what was once a healthy portion becomes a silent overload. A quarter cup of raisins holds more sugar than a can of soda. The sweetness feels natural, but to your body, it's a surge of glucose with no fiber, water, or protein to slow it down. That sugar spike hits your bloodstream hard, and your blood vessels, especially the small ones in your legs and feet, take the damage first. Over time, this causes microinflammation, tiny constant stress on the vascular system that wears down muscle recovery and circulation. Carol, 69, from Tucson, started swapping out cookies for dried fruit after a nutrition class. She meant well, but within months she noticed her legs felt tight after walking. Her energy dipped by early afternoon. She thought she needed more rest. In reality, she was overdosing on natural sugar without realizing it. This is where doctor tips for older adults can be life-changing. Dried fruits like dates, raisins, and dried apricots are dense in calories and sugar, but low in volume. That makes it easy to overeat. Just a few bites can equal the sugar content of an entire meal. And for seniors trying to manage blood sugar or reduce inflammation, that small habit adds up. Research in the journal Diabetes Care found that high intake of dried fruit was linked to increased markers of inflammation and blood vessel damage in older adults. The problem isn't that dried fruit is processed, it's that it's too easy to eat too much too fast without noticing. That's why this is one of the longevity secrets no one talks about. You think you're making a better choice, but your body doesn't care where the sugar came from. It only knows it was too much too quickly. If you often snack on trail mix or energy bars filled with dried fruit, pay attention to how your legs feel by the end of the day. Are they sore tired? Do you feel drained even when you're eating what you thought was healthy? It may be time to rethink how you use dried fruit. If you enjoy it, treat it like a topping, not a snack. Sprinkle a few pieces into oatmeal, mix it with nuts to slow absorption, or enjoy it with a meal that includes protein and fat to keep your blood sugar steady. Longevity isn't about restriction. It's about understanding how food acts in your body, especially after 60. Small adjustments can protect your energy, your strength, and your independence. And sometimes the smallest things, like in that innocent handful of dried fruit, hold the biggest lessons. Number 6. Fruit juice liquid sugar that strains your energy and weakens circulation. It's marketed as pure, freshly squeezed, straight from nature. But for adults over 60, fruit juice can quietly become one of the most damaging habits to your energy, your blood vessels, and your legs. When you juice fruit, you remove the fiber, leaving behind only liquid sugar. And that sugar floods your system almost instantly. Your blood sugar shoots up fast, and your body races to bring it back down by releasing insulin. The crash that follows doesn't just leave you tired. It puts strain on the smallest blood vessels in your body, especially in your legs and feet. In younger years, your body could handle the roller coaster. But after 60, the system slows. Your muscles repair more slowly. Your circulation becomes more fragile. That fast insulin spike, followed by a sharp drop, doesn't just affect your mood, it weakens the microcirculation that supports your mobility. Elaine, 67, from Portland, used to start every morning with a glass of orange juice. She believed it was good for her heart. But by mid-morning, she felt lightheaded, shaky, and sluggish. Her doctor ruled out anemia. It wasn't until she cut back on the juice and added a balanced breakfast that her energy stabilized. This is a classic example of why senior health tips need to go beyond the label. Juice may sound healthy, but to your body it acts more like syrup than fruit. A study from Harvard School of Public Health found that regular fruit juice consumption in older adults was associated with a higher risk of type 2 diabetes even when the juice was fresh and natural. The problem isn't the source, it's the speed. For those focused on healthy aging, stability matters. Your energy should last through the day, not peak and crash. And your blood vessels need steady fuel, not shock waves of sugar. Fruit juice also creates a false sense of nutrition. You might think you're doing something good by skipping soda and choosing juice. But without fiber to slow it down, your body receives more sugar than it would from several whole fruits all at once. That rush stresses the vascular system and leaves muscles undernourished. You don't have to eliminate fruit from your diet, but if you're drinking it instead of eating it, you're missing the whole point. Chewing fruit slows digestion. It gives your body time to respond. It allows nutrients to absorb properly and keeps your blood sugar steady. If you've been feeling off balance, tired after meals, or notice your legs recovering more slowly after walks, it may be time to rethink your morning juice. Energy after 60 isn't about cutting everything out. It's about building smarter habits that protect what matters most: your strength, your clarity, and your independence. Drink less sugar, eat whole foods, and listen to what your body is trying to tell you, because sometimes the smallest adjustments lead to the biggest returns. Number 7. Canned fruit. The artificial sweetness that quietly weakens your legs. It's soft. It's easy to chew. And it often comes packed in syrup that tastes like childhood. But canned fruit is not the same as fresh fruit, not even close. And for older adults, it can quietly work against everything you're doing to stay mobile and independent. When fruit is canned, the texture is changed and the nutrition is reduced. What's added is concentrated sugar, sometimes in the form of high fructose corn syrup, and preservatives to extend shelf life. These ingredients are known to promote inflammation in the body, especially when eaten regularly. What many people don't realize is that this kind of long-term low-level inflammation doesn't just affect digestion or joints. It reaches the smallest blood vessels in the body, especially those in your legs and feet. Over time, these vessels become stiff, less responsive, and less able to deliver nutrients to your muscles. Dennis, 73, from South Carolina, often ate canned peaches at lunch. They were easy to open sweet and reminded him of his childhood, but he noticed he was moving slower than usual. His walking pace dropped. He needed longer rest after climbing stairs. His physical therapist pointed out the link between processed sugar and reduced muscle recovery. A study in the Journal of Gerontology confirmed this connection. Older adults who regularly consume processed fruit products showed slower walking speed, higher inflammation markers, and greater fall risk compared to those who ate fresh whole fruits. For those looking to prevent aging diseases, this is a critical insight. Every food choice either supports healing or delays it, and while canned fruit may seem gentle and convenient, it often delivers a dangerous mix of excess sugar and lost nutrition. Even more concerning, canned fruit is often served in places where seniors are most vulnerable: retirement homes, hospital trays, assisted living centers. It's soft, it's affordable, but it can accelerate decline without anyone noticing. That's why natural health for seniors means going beyond the label. Just because something is called fruit doesn't mean it's healthy. You have to look at how it's prepared, what it's packed in, and how it affects your body now, not how it made you feel 30 years ago. You don't have to give up sweetness, but you do have to be selective. Choose fresh or frozen fruits with no added sugar. Add texture with raw pears, apples, or berries. Or cook your own stewed fruit at home with no syrup added. Aging well isn't about avoiding every treat. It's about noticing what helps you feel strong and what quietly takes strength away. If your legs feel heavier, if you find yourself hesitating before you rise from a chair, if balance is starting to slip, look at what's on your plate. The sweetness of canned fruit is easy, but your independence is worth more. And so while canned fruit may seem like a harmless comfort, it's the perfect example of how aging bodies require a new kind of wisdom. What once felt fine might now be quietly slowing you down. Because fruit isn't the enemy. But if you want strong legs and lasting independence, you need to choose wisely. Eat for the body you have today, not for the habits you formed years ago. After 60, your body becomes like an aging garden. It still has life, still has strength, but it needs careful, tending, balanced fuel, gentle support and protection from silent stressors. Don't let what feels harmless rob you of the most precious things: your movement, your energy, your freedom. If this video helped you see everyday foods in a new light, share it with someone you care about. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Live Healthy After 50 for more guidance on how to stay strong, independent, and vibrant. Your health is your greatest wealth. Keywords: Live Healthy After 50 Senior Health Aging Gracefully Advice Longevity Secrets.